happening. Like I said earlier, when we started this, that's always been us, and then the levels, the students in the various levels. But this year, by the grace of God, we have Madam and the team with us, and I want us to give them a very big hand of applause.
I was telling my other resource person with a friend who is sitting beside me that I remember way back I went to University Girls anyway. So way back in University Girls, we wear mufti in school. So I'll see my friends in mufti and I'll tell them, what you're wearing doesn't sing. I mean, how can you be wearing red and blue? How can you wear these colors are not right? That was the natural me. I never knew I was meant to be a fashion engineer and fashion designer, sorry. So I followed through even in my corporate world. When I see you wearing something that is wrong, I'll tell you that you don't wear this, you don't coordinate. Put it like this, wear like this. So I think at a point in my life, I was doing free consultations for people. So you want to go to a wedding, you tell me the colors and I'll tell you how to put your stuff together, your hair, your dress, your shoe, your accessories. So when I decided to leave Vodafone, if I didn't need to be a fashion designer, I left to just explore me.
How would you feel if by the end of your 10th year, you are already the managing director of a company awaiting you? You've not finished school, but you have an MD position awaiting you. How would you feel? You feel great. Exactly. So that is my story. Now, how did it all begin? Or began, let me put it that way. So, I entered KUSC in 2000. Now, at the time, this was the challenge. You get to university and you hear of all manner of student graduate unemployment and what have you. People who haven't finished school and been despondent and not knowing what to do with their lives. So when I entered school, the question I asked myself was, what happens after the degree? And that's why this topic actually excites me, because it was the exact question I asked myself. So after all the babadie, as we used to call it, the chiwepo, they're going and coming and solving all the questions and getting whatever class, you are interested in what happens after that. So that was the question I asked myself. So my mind went to work right from there. And then I realized that, okay, so I need to, at the barest minimum, have a business of my own and run that business.
We are about to get to know the purpose of our gathering here. And I'd like to invite Dr. Genevieve Beldan, who will be lead consultant, Tarrant Edge. Please, with a round of applause, let's welcome her as she shares with us the purpose for our gathering.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon once again. So why beyond the certificate? Straight to the point. Beyond the certificate is just to tell you that after working so hard for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, in some cases, in school, and even at higher level, as becoming a doctor, a professor, and all that, what next? But for today, our focus is more on tertiary institutions. So level 300, level 400 students who are preparing to go outside of school. When you are done and you go outside of school, is it just what you've earned and you have it in your hands? No. There are so many other important things that you need to know. Like I spoke earlier, time management is one. Attitude, sense of urgency. Walking into a hall like this briskly because people are already there waiting for you. Networking skills. How to write very nice CVs. How to communicate, interpersonal relationships. So many more. And that is why, for me, my many years of, I'm not used to standing at one place when I'm talking, but I'm restricted, so I'll manage. My many years of working in the banking industry, one of the things that I realized and I took it upon myself to do is, most times when students come, especially for national service, you realize that it's like a shock. They want to work, so they have the opportunity to work. But working and the attitude we see at work, sometimes it confuses me. So today we are going to have a session where we are learning not just about career choices, not just about writing a beautiful CV to get a job, but also how are you going to be able to employ yourself and employ some of your friends. And that is the essence of education. You learn so that you can go and solve problems. So that is what Beyond the Certificate is basically about. But then also I entreat all students to come on board. I mean, we are all here, there are the flyers around, information is there, my number is in the school, and there are so many other ways you can seek information so that you can join the Transformative Students Club. So we have the young professionals and then we also have the students in school.
Some of the technologies that are driving these changes, artificial intelligence, I'm sure we all know about that. Big data, our ability to analyze the data that comes from digitization, and then automation, which means be able to do things without the several steps needed to be done seamlessly and by machine. So this is not a technology lecture, so I wouldn't go into tech details. But how does that impact our lives? According to the World Economic Forum, one of the largest bodies driving economic affairs in the world, they released a report in April called the Future of Jobs Report. And I would encourage everyone to look for that report. It's released annually. In this particular year's issue, what they noticed was that 85% of the organizations sampled globally said within the next 5 years, they would have radically changed their operations and the value they create.
Over the past few years, the experiences I've had, I am convinced that sometimes your certification can be a hindrance to you. So sometimes you tell somebody, I want to work in a bank. The first question is, what degree do you have? Then you say, oh, I have a BSc in telecoms engineering. Oh, the bank is not a place for you. Go and find a telecoms company and work with. So consciously or unconsciously, we have placed ourselves in boxes and silos as a result of the certificates we have. And a lot of people, in my opinion, are still unemployed because they are thinking along those lines. I have a computer science degree, so I need to work with Dell, I need to work with Microsoft. Either that or nothing. So it can be a limitation to you. Keep that at the back of your mind.
I have seen successes at interviews. I've managed talents for K1. So I'll share some views regarding strategies, whether you want to become an employee or an employer. Most of them are not generic at all. I can remember one of my mentees, Kweku. Kweku is also a fashion designer. Though he read and he holds Masters in Business Administration from the University of Ghana. That's what it's for you. Kweku is essential. I'll tell you deliberately about internship programs from fashion to supply chain to material management and to stock control deliberately. So the person works about that. I believe survive in the hands of Professor Penny and the rest. So I reapplied for business school. When I went to business school, you know what they did to me? Banking and finance. I was shocked. I didn't get what I really wanted to do. And I did it gladly. But something changed. What changed? What I want to share with you. There was the need for what we call self-assessment. Somebody said, Kwame, is it really that you wanted to become a banker? And you go, no. What do you want to become? I don't know. I never knew. So, the counselor, my mentor, introduced me to a system, an assessment system. I went through the assessments. 4 different assessments, MBTI and others. Interestingly, by the time I was done, 3 things were very clear. I knew my personality. I knew myself. I got to know for the first time that I'll be a better teacher, a better pastor, a better social worker than to sit at the bank to do calculations and compute values and balance sheets and others.
At the University of London, only 10% of you are going to get jobs after your national service. Some of you, it can take up 10 years before you get a job. So out there, the reality is very hard.
You know a job, keep it. Because if you lose it, you get half your statistics. You better get the key of those millions who are struggling already, and you will be behind the key. So how will you keep your job? 1, add value to yourself. And I'm sure from all the presentation we had so far, you know how to add value to yourself. Because there are millions of graduates like you who have certificates, well prepared, you have first class, just like you are. What makes the difference is the value you add to yourself. And some of us do a lot of graduates every day. We sit on panels with good people, and some of them come and you look at the CV, you look at the person, and you wonder which school this person attended. Because beyond the certificate, the person has nothing.
Most of the things you have been told are realities of the world. Whether you like it or not, they will face you. The earlier you prepare for it, the better. You are in a separation school, so I would say your mind, it starts from your mind. Our minds are now the CPU of our life. Do you believe that? Yes. Everything that we conceive and act upon comes to pass. It is not about just conceiving, it's about action. Imagination remains an imagination until action is taken on it. So these are things I want us to, wrap our minds on before I touch on leadership. It tells you that if you want to occupy a leadership position, you must have a certain mindset. You must have a certain knowledge. You must prepare yourself. This is not a preserve for a few people. You must begin to believe in yourself. You must also tell yourself that indeed I have what it takes to occupy that leadership role.